Sir, we're approaching a podcast. It's part of the Legion Academy collective called Dice Time.
That's it. Bob Swim and Ben Jetron are there.
My lord, there are several Star Wars Legion podcasts. It could be any number.
That is the one. Admiral, set your course for Dice Time.
Hello everybody, welcome to Dice Time. I'm Ben.
I'm Bob. I'm back.
He's back. We're hanging out in the medical bay, and Bob, you're finally back to full strength, and you look great.
I feel good. I feel really good. Got a lot of weapons cleaned and some deals done online, and yeah, I'm glad to be back. I missed all you guys. Thanks, Paul, for covering for me. I appreciate it. Sorry about that pelt, dude. It just was the wrong turn, wrong place, wrong time for the Wampa when I shot it in the head. Well, and then the arm and then the chest. But sorry about that.
You looking to get back into the action, or you want to you looking to get a break? Relax on the ship for a bit.
Yeah, I think we should just hang out here and talk about stuff. I've been reading a lot of stuff online and.
Cool. Well, instead of that, check this out. The Rebels gave me these war plans that we're going to be jumping into, and hope you just take a look at that. Tell me what you think.
Unconventional Warfare. What's that? Hey, that was on mine too. I kind of skimmed through it and then said, yeah, whatever, and moved along. They're always coming up with some crazy plans. Them and the Skywalker, Sky Dancer, whatever that dude's name is. And those Wookiee and all that stuff. I don't know, but yeah, hey, if it pays, we're there.
Yep. So we're going to be
need ammo. I bet.
So we're going to be. Oh yeah, they are. We're going to be talking later in the show about the Unconventional Warfare game modes that were released for Star Wars Legion during AMG's streams. We are also going to briefly touch on the streams and stuff, but. Bob, the first thing I'd like to talk about is I've heard that you wanted to give a nice little heads up and a little discussion for maybe some newer players or some people that haven't really done a whole lot of tournament stuff that are looking to get into that.
I swear to God, I was a brand new player at this tournament. I had no idea what I was doing, and boy, did I mess stuff up, and it showed really bad. First, let me say that we were playing up at Power 9, which is up in Fort Wayne. They run a great tournament. Not as good as Atomic, but very close. No, they're
okay.
They're really good. They're good. I have to say that. That's my home store, and well, I run the tournaments there, so they're not better than mine. But we had 20 people show up to this thing. They made shirts for everybody. It was, I don't know, $5 to get in, and you got a shirt for going.
Oh, I saw that. I was so jealous I couldn't go to that.
I got a really fancy, nice Republic shirt. And
yeah.
I forget what it says, but very everybody's cool. Faction had a different saying on a shirt and their colors. So it was kind of cool. Secondly, I'm not a real big tournament player. I run tournaments. I like to walk around. I like to smooth with people, and I run tournaments and all that good stuff. I don't focus. That's part of my problem when I play. My mind goes off on tangents. Basically, this is just kind of a synopsis of what not to do because, man, I felt really bad. I ran into some people that I talked to online all the time, ended up playing, and they were like, "Oh, I thought you were better at this," and I'm like, "I normally am." Like,
goodness.
Yeah, it was kind of rough there for a little bit. I had a real rough game.
So this is Bob's what not to do at a tournament?
What not to do at the tournament because you're going to get all messed up.
Let's do it.
I honestly, I drew the guy that got third place. I honestly do not remember his name. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. I'm not. And he taught me about Anakin Skywalker. That was one thing. Play what you know.
The hard way.
Yeah. Well, first off, you want to get a lot of rest before you go. I said, I don't sleep normally. The night before I'm packing, repacking, questioning my army choices. This leads to another step. It's going to put you in the pit. I don't follow that rule. Of get some rest. I don't do any of that stuff. I make sure I eat good other than that, but I'm still picking armies the night before. If you go to a tournament, pick something that you know. Even if you don't think it's going to win, you're going to feel really bad when you get there with an Anakin Skywalker army and you don't really have a clue other than you really need to charge him up. My first game was we were doing Long March with Anakin, which is a no-no. We were doing Hostage, which was okay. First time I'd ever played Hostage. We didn't get our kits that those came in for a long time. So we never really got to play it, but man, I threw it in the thing to pick from, and it was terrible. It was absolutely, the guy just stomped on me. He walked to the middle of the board, walked his hostage back to his. I did get points for my hostage to get him back into the zone, but he just slaughtered me, and it set the tone for the rest of the day. I was so mad. I got beat up on, and it was just absolutely terrible. So the big thing is get some rest the night before, and then get your stuff all packed the earlier in the day or the day before. Make sure you stay with the army choice that you know. This leads to another step closer to the pit if you don't, because if that does it, your day is going to start out bad, and it's just going to be bad. Secondly, like I said, play what you know. I know Rex. I play Rex and a gun line constantly, at least one time a week. And I usually take that to tournaments when I go. Well, this one I said, I'm going to play Anakin. We're good with Anakin. We beat 2 people at the home. So, no, that's terrible. It was absolutely just bad. If you don't pick something you know, you're not going to do well because you're still trying to figure it out.
Now, let me caveat and say, if you're going with the intent of just practicing, then, go and practice. Just know that you be in the mindset that you're practicing. If you're going to an event with the intent to do well, yeah, it's better to, use what you know really well, because Legion plays like that.
And I went with the intention of having a good time first, and that
got
in my head. I got my rear handed to me, and it's never good. Generally, I like to lose the first game if I'm going to lose the first game, because that puts you at a better place in the list to where you can play for fun, because you're not worrying about going and getting the prizes. To that day, it was bad. It just preyed on my mind, and then I was messed up. My next game was with a guy named Brent from Greenwood. Hey, Brent. He's trying to grow a community down there. He's a real good guy, and we've talked on the phone. We've talked about, we've had family problems, and we've helped each other out with that stuff. Great guy. Suggest if you're around Indianapolis or Greenwood down in there, go give him a try. They play the same weekend we do, so I've not got a chance to get down there. But we're playing, and he just keeps looking at me funny, and he's like, I'm like, what? And he goes, I figured you was going to be a better player than this. And I'm like, I usually am. I said, that first game just flustered the heck out of me, and I can't bring myself back. And I lost it. It was basically one I should have won. It was given to me to win, and I totally blew it. So by this time, I'm like, I really just don't care. I just don't care. Ever don't care. I'm just going to play for fun, because there's no way I'm going to get the prizes. Were really, really cool. They gave away a table's worth of terrain, which when I walked in, I knew Paul Watson was there, and I was like, oh, Watson's going to get it, or Richie's going to get it, or Nick's going to get it.
They're
so
really
I don't
good.
have anything there. They're awesome. They're great players, and they adhere to the rules. Play what you know, and focus. I don't focus. I talk to people as they're walking by. I run over to other tables and talk to people, because that's what I do. I'm a talker. I love people. I love seeing different strategies. That's why I'm a judge. And then when you hear judge calls, of course, you're like, what? Maybe I can help.
Yeah, you're like, oh, me? Oh,
yeah.
wait,
What? No, shoot, that's not me. And it was just, he beat me up really bad on that game. And by this time, like I said, I really didn't care. I was just going to go play for fun. And then I drew Richie. Richie's one of the best players in the area. And I'm like, well, this game's lost. All right. Probably the best game I had all day, because I didn't care anymore, and I focused, and I almost beat him. What I didn't know was that the rounds, and I'd forgotten, that the rounds were an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
Which you have to play a little bit quicker. Neither one of us even remembered that, because when they called the game, we're like, we haven't only played an hour and a half. And they're like, no, it's an hour and a half of games all day. And we're like, man, it was quick all day. What the hell? If I'd have had another half an hour, I honestly would have beat him. And he actually said, man, I'm glad you didn't have that half hour, because you would have beat me. I finally got Anakin cooking. I took on a bunch of Wookiees, and I tore them all up. Cassian is a monster with all the extra rolls he gets.
Oh, yeah.
Danger Sense is a monster, and that kept his Cassian alive, and I could not kill him. Richie's a great player, learned a lot by playing him. And like I said, if I'd had another half hour, I really think I would have got him, maybe 15 minutes even. But it made me feel good. That game made the day worth being there, even though I blew the other two. They played 4 rounds. We didn't stay for the last round. It was Paul Watson and Nick on the board of terrain that they were going to give away. And
nice.
Paul Watson ended up winning it, and I think he traded it. There was someone had printed a box to carry your stuff around in. It looked like a kyber crystal box, and Paul wanted that. So he ended up trading the whole box of terrain, or table of terrain, for that box.
Wow.
It was really kind of cool. the good thing though that you do, you know, I mean, you got to pay attention to your game. You've got to focus. If you're there for fun, cool. Don't focus. Do what you want to do. If you're there to even, you know, place. There was 20 of us. I got 15th place.
Okay.
And it wasn't great, but at least I didn't finish last. I forget who did. Sorry about you, whoever did. But what made me feel really, 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 really bad was I'm sitting there, and Adrian, which is the kid that we talked about last week, we're going to have him on the show this week, but they had family coming into town. We're going to get him next time. He walks up to me with this just frown on his face, and I'm like, what happened? And he's like, I lost every game I played. And I'm like, hey, so did I. Let's see where we are in the list. And he was 16th and I was 15th. So it was still like, oh, Swain did better than I did. He had a really shitty day. So, but it was cool because I'm like, okay, that just gives us something to focus for next time. And you know, there's no shame in it. There's a lot of good players here. You just got bad people. I told him, I said, I drew the guy that got third. You know, in the entire tournament. So, you know, and I got, you know, Richie, and he goes, oh, he's tough to play. I'm like, yeah, they were both tough games. And I said, we just move on, because he was really, you could tell he was upset. So I told him, I said, next time he's up at our store, we'll sit down and if we get a buy, maybe we'll get it and we'll get to play. He goes, oh man, I want to play you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I want to play you too. So we kind of just sat there and wallowed in our tears and you know, watched everybody else. His dad was in second, so he got to play on the big table, so he was still there, and you know, gave him a high five and a fist bump when we left, and told him I'd see him this month. It was next month, but now it's this month.
Yep.
Pretty much that's all I've got to say. I mean, each game's its own adventure. When you focus on your game, you'll have a more fun time and learn your weaknesses, so you can become a better player. And like I said, I like to talk to people. People walk by. People know who I am. You know, hey, Bob, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Playing game. You know, and usually they'll leave me alone, but I won't leave them alone. I'll just keep talking to them instead of focusing on what I should have been. Yoda got it right. You need to focus on what you're doing. And so it was a good time. Like I say, those guys do really, really well. I'll give you a real quick list here. I played Anakin, and then a commander. Anakin and a commander, Padme, some troopers, and 2 RTs, 2 repair guys. He had the first game. He had a Rex gun line, and first you really need to look at the guy's cards, and I didn't do that. I said, you know, it was fun, but still hadn't seen it in a while. Didn't do good on that one. Second one I played Brent, like I said, from Greenwood. Hey Brent. Short story. I was so in my own head that I really, really, really messed it up. I took little notes as I went. So it was terrible. It was totally, totally terrible. And we need to get another game in, because that wasn't how I play. And I really want to beat up on him really bad. Third game, like I said, was Richie. I'm finally in the game. Like I said, not because I didn't play the other 2 games. But Richie is such a good player. I learned a lot on setup and how he runs. We were playing, what were we playing? Battle lines. We set up right across from each other, and they could have took the rest of the board off the table. We played within a 2-foot square.
Yeah, I've had those.
And we didn't go to the sides. He threw all his crap in the middle. I threw all my crap in the middle, and we just went. Anakin can be a horse if you've got him fired up. I'm really interested to know what Joe's got cooked up, because he says if you run him and Yoda together, that you really don't even have to ramp him up. You just got to get that first card out with the one that you can move and then still attack. You move your two moves and attack. That's relentless. Yeah. Relentless. And he said that you really don't have to ramp him up with the other cards. That's the only one you really, really need. So you can move, and then throw. Looking really forward to that. So I went over. I haven't
proxied Yoda yet, but I've heard scary.
Yeah, I heard he's a mess. He's a great support. Throw him with Anakin and just mow everything else. Just want to say thank you to Power 9 Games, Jacob and Merrick up there. You guys are awesome. And Jason at New Dimension Crafts, they did the shirts. Like I said, it was a $5 buy-in, and you got a really nicely printed shirt. Got their logo on one sleeve, Power 9 on the other, and then whatever symbol, and I forget what the saying is on my shirt, but everybody had their own symbol, or their own saying on their shirts, and it was really cool. Nice quality T-shirts. He's got a site on Etsy called New Dimensions Crafts. highly recommend them if you guys go out there. He'll give you a good deal, and he does good quality work. He ended up printing and sponsoring the game up there. He printed all the terrain that they gave away, and he does really good work.
Man,
that's
awesome.
That was basically my things of not what to do. Mostly get some sleep the night before. Don't sit up and worry about what you're going to play. And if you are worried about what you're going to play, just play what you know. I always have 5 builds done. I've started playing Empire, and I've got 2 or 3 Empire builds, and I've got 3 different Republic builds that are off maybe by 1 piece. So they're all the same army with just a little bit different flavor. I might put in ARC troopers, full squad ARC troopers. Instead of taking 5s, I like to play 5s in a phase 1 group or a phase 2 group. But you don't get your uplink if you do that. You have to put in one of the new comtechs. So I built one with a comtech so I could get it. But it's 112 points, I think. I can get 5s with the uplink for free and put him in a full ARC trooper group and get sharpshooter and scout 2 and impervious for 12 more points. To me, it's worth it. I don't know other people's playing styles, but that's on my list of stuff that I want to try. By just tweaking your army a little tiny bit, you don't have to go with something new and brand new and exciting every time just because a new piece comes out.
Right.
It's not. You don't need to take it to a tournament first thing out of the barrel before you get good with it. I plan to get good with Anakin because he's a mean piece. He's really mean, getting ranked in the right position. But I kind of think of him as a Rex. Because he's range 2, he's got a range 2 gun. It's 3 red dice, but his is all impervious and not impervious, but pierce and impact. So he's better in Rex in that aspect. You just have to get him ramped up. So I haven't give up on him. It's just I put him back in the box and said, okay, you failed me once. We'll try you again in a little bit.
Yeah, I've certainly done that with a lot of my pieces when they're new. It's just like, okay, well, that was a bad taste in my mouth. I'll try it again later.
Yep, I know I can do better than that. I can go 2-1 with Rex. So,
but that's how units sit on the shelf for months at a time.
Yeah, but then you play them with like your friends. Like I say, I got a game going at my house every week, and that's a really good because I know what my players at my house are going to do. So I need to make sure that I'm putting them in a position that they're not used to being in, to where they have to throw something different at me, and then that makes me work that much harder to go. Oh well, that didn't work. What do I need to do with that? So. And my guys at the house, they're starting to change up what they play because they know, he knows how to beat this. He's going to beat us up every time. So they want to play weird. I got a guy that was playing CIS, and he quit playing it to go back to Imperials because we were beating up on him too bad. So, and it's okay. That's a big difference when you're used to droids every week, and then they get Iden out there and she starts just laying down cover fire and his tank comes out and starts mowing people with carrying an E-Web generator. Yeah. So totally different tactics, totally different stuff you have to figure out. So that's about all I got about my weekend up there and what not to do when you go to a tournament. Again, thanks Power 9. You guys were awesome up there. We appreciate it. We're happy you guys advertised for us. We wanted to throw you guys a throw out there too. And again, they only do tournaments about once every 3 months with Legion.
Really?
They play Armada. They play Armada and X-Wing up there. So everybody.
Next time they do Legion, maybe I can swing it depending on the weekend. I'd love to go. I heard a lot of great reviews and great things from everybody that went, so I definitely want to check them out.
Yeah,
it's an even bigger drive for me, but maybe I could break it up. I don't know, something. We'll figure it out.
We can figure out something.
Sure.
So.
Well, Bob, what do you say? We could. It's almost halfway between us and like Chicago. One of the people that lives in Chicago is Joe, and Joe is one of the hosts of.
That would be Legion Academy.
Yeah, I love the transitions. They're so great. Segway. I'm Segway master over here.
You are a Segway master.
Just call me a mall cop.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to quickly just plug in that Legion Academy is back. As of time of recording, they went on a small hiatus while we were gone, or like during the month of March, and they're back now. So the week that this episode drops is like the first week that they're back. I love it because they basically took the same break that we normally do between episodes, but when they do it, it's like a hiatus, and when we do it, it's just normal.
It's just what we
So-
do. We're dedicated, but not that dedicated. We have to do jobs, man. I mean,
hey, we're dedicated. We just want to make sure there's good, chock full content episode. Well, I mean, they do a good job too.
they
Anyway,
do a great job. Anyway,
anyway, so we get Legion Academy back up on their YouTube channel. They're doing their weekly streams. I don't know if they've committed back to a day. I think they did Wednesday, or it might have been Thursday this week. I don't remember which one. But just make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel and follow them, and make sure that you are checking in so you'll always see when they're going live. But they're talking about Kashyyyk next week. It'll be I told them to call it Kashyyyk Week.
Kashyyyk Week.
They're talking about all the cool stuff there. They got their sweet hobby stuff going on. They have their Patreon where they're dropping exclusive terrain, making content, and all sorts of great stuff going on there. So make sure to check them out. Their website's up. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last episode, but the Legion Academy's website is up.
It's really nice too.
Dude, it looks really fancy, and the best part about it is Dice Time has a section of it.
Yes, we do, and it looks really cool too. I am very, very, very proud to be under their banner.
So you can check them out there. That is at legionacademy.net. And it is a really the dice simulator that they've been using is on there. Their shows are posted there in episode format. They update
Our shows
really
are posted
fast.
there.
Our shows are posted there.
Our battle reports.
Theoretically.
You did a battle report, and
we did a battle report as of last time we were on there. I don't know if it's on the site, but it's definitely on the YouTube channel for sure.
Definitely. Didn't we have a prize giveaway that went afoul that we need to take care of this week?
We do have a prize giveaway to giving away because our winner from the drawing last month never came forward and claimed it. So it's time to draw it again.
Yay! Hey,
here, take this bowl.
You still got these. You got that from the sink. Oh, what were you eating in here? Oh,
I don't know.
God, it
smells.
But
here, I'm just gonna pull one of these names, okay?
Yeah, throw it in the bowl.
All right, shuffle, and hooyah! We've got David Brown. Congratulations, David Brown. You're our new winner of exclusive Luke. Now, what I need you to do is message either Bob or me on Facebook, and you got to claim the prize, because that's what happened last time. Last guy didn't claim the prize, so you got to claim it, and we'll get in touch and we'll ship Luke out to you. I don't want to.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Now I'm gonna give you all of April. I'm gonna give you the whole month to reach out to us. The problem is, like, if this one doesn't pan out, Bob, one, I feel like we have a cursed contest. Second, I don't want to like change the parameters of the contest just to see if to get a whole bunch of like new people, because I want to give the people that did this the chance to win it. So we'll see. We'll see. If this month doesn't pan out, I'll be upset, but we'll figure it out.
Would you people, for the love of God or the Force or whatever you believe in, please contact us so he doesn't get upset. We don't need that.
I'll get upset.
He'll get upset. It's not pretty.
But we're making sure Luke gets to somebody, okay?
Yeah, we want to get it out there. It's a beautiful piece. It's really nice. We were playing over at the store the other night, and Slade had his out, and it's extra special because I ended up painting it for him, and he still did pretty bad with it, but then he had a good time because it was a pretty piece, and he was really happy with it, and he said, "Look at what I got," and instead of, again, go to the first part of this podcast and see what you're not supposed to do when you're playing a game. He wanted to look at the pretty Luke, and then he said, "Oh, look, the pretty Luke's dead." Okay, so yep. Real life experience.
So with that, there's one other group I'd like to thank, which is Atomic Mass Games. For their mini extravaganza. Dude, that was awesome. I don't care. I heard a whole bunch of I was getting a bunch of negative people from Facebook commenting and just being the streams were dumb or something. And I was like, no, you guys need to sit down and quit with your spoiled whatever attitude that you have going on, because I know the amount of work that goes into doing as consecutive as those streams were for 3 days straight. They had something almost every hour going on.
It was nuts. It was totally nuts.
Crazy. huge props to AMG. We
The
know
only
that
thing
we
that
know
they did. Go ahead.
we know
Sorry.
AMG listens to this, Bob, so we can directly thank all of them.
Thank you. The only thing that really freaked me out was it must have been Friday night, and they were painting Yoda, and that was amazing to watch those guys paint for 2 hours. But I was wanting more. I wanted more meat. I was like, when are they gonna like give us something? Oh yeah, that's nice. It's pretty, and there's 3 different ways you can do it. And then like Saturday, it's like they just open the floodgates, and here come the Wookiees, and here come the Lats, and the RV, and all the information that you were just like, where the heck is it? I'm so hungry for something cool, And
Legion's Day was Saturday.
You knew it was coming, and then I thought it was going to be Friday night, and I sat there and I watched, and then I went back after Saturday when I got my fill of everything they were putting out, and was almost in tears over the Lats. That's so freaking cool. I'm so happy. And then I watched the Yoda thing again, and I enjoyed it so much more because I wasn't sitting there going, well, when are they going to throw a card up? When are they going to throw a card? And it was amazing. Those 2 guys painting those things, it was really funny to watch. I think it's Dallas. Is that his name? One of their painters. Yeah. He's like one of their painters, and he was just taking his time and just and he got one. He's still working on one, and the other dude's like done. He's starting another one, but they came out beautiful, both of them, and that's what I think is cool with the painting is I'm a quick painter. I'm not a layer guy. I don't sit there.
Painter.
I'm not a 20-hour look at this. If you want something museum quality, then yeah, I take the time to make it really pretty. But what I do for the table, it's tabletop. So a lot of the stuff I do, it's not a lot of time, but it still comes out really nice. And that was kind of a really good example of it because the dude, I cannot remember the other guy's name. Is it
Will?
Stick or
Will? Yeah, Will Schick.
Will Schick, and because he's just going to town and burn, and Dallas is over there like Yoda, just there's a brush stroke. Let's put one there, and there's one there, and there's one there, and then you look over and Will's like 3/4 of the way through, and like Dallas has painted the green on it, and you're like, oh, he's going to take 5 hours, on stream to do this. No, thank you. But it was awesome. They both turned out beautiful. I'm really excited for Yoda. I do you think that they're going? This is just my thoughts process.
Okay.
Do you think that you're going to get a Rebel card and a Republic card
for Yoda? No.
Yes. Really?
Yeah, really. Because
the only reason in my brain.
Yoda never directly helped the rebellion. That's my thing. He's not a rebel. He's not allied with the rebels. He's a Jedi who did his own Jedi thing, and he trained Luke.
Yeah. And if you look at it, though, if you look at the sculpts, you got the one where he's coming over the tree limb, going to cut somebody in half.
Yep.
And to me, that's the Republic one. Him and Dooku going at it. It would have been funny if the base on that would have been inside of a hangar or something. But then if you look at the other one that Dallas was painting, he's got his stick. He's kind of focusing. Yep. And he's got his eyes closed and stuff. And to me, that just says Rebels because that's from where he was standing there pulling out the X-wing out of the marsh. If you look at the sculpt, it's exactly that same pose because he's got his hand out and he's doing his little thing, and he's got that stick and he's steadying himself on it. And I know you can use a lightsaber arm on it too, but to me that says Rebels. I'm like, oh, that would be just a cliffhanger that they throw in there at the last minute and go, oh, by the way, he's dual carded. And because you knew the Lats was, I mean, I'd had conversations with some people about the
I remember you saying that.
And I'm like, it's gonna be double, right? And they give me some hints and what to look at, and they never told me exactly and stuff, but they give me enough hints that I go, oh, okay.
Well, okay, awesome. Bob, you tell me. I'll tell you what. If you're right about him being dual faction, then you can. I told you so hard on the show, but I'm going. My hard answer is hard no. He's not going to be dual faction.
Okay, no. Well, we'll see how it works out. We've got till July.
Something.
I think they're July.
The canal has got our recent delays delayed. Yeah, Who knows what will happen when Kashyyyk stuff is trying to come out.
I am so mad because I want my Lats and hopefully they're already here.
I want a Lat, but you know what I want more, Bob? I want my AA5 party bus.
You want the party bus. You want the. We're going to put wings on all of them. Everyone that comes in, if I have to just make little cutout, cardboard wings. When I see one on the board, I'm going to walk over and put them on there, at least for the game.
I have grand plan. Joe talked about it on the stream briefly, but I've had these grand plans for the AA5 speeder truck. It's going to be all purple. It's going to have graffiti all over it, like Sabine decked it up. It's going to have a starbird on the side of
Dude,
it.
that's going to be beautiful.
I'm going to put lights inside of it. Like I have a buddy of mine who's been like, he's been eager to like, he's like, give me like a project that you need like electric or like electronics in it and stuff. And I just don't really have any big enough models. I've not been a big vehicle guy. But this is mine, like this transport. I'm like, this is something I need. So I told him, I was like, we're getting rave disco lights thrown in this thing. So we're gonna hook that up. I'm either gonna play music on my phone whenever I run it, or I'm gonna find a way to get a speaker in there. But
get you a sound card.
I'm actually no. I want to play the like every time I pull it out of the like the token out of the bag, or like every time I activate it, I want to play the. You remember the like from the 90s, you remember the Six Flags commercials with like the old man, the crazy old man that's like dancing?
Oh yeah. Yes,
yeah, that's the song I want to I want to play that.
What you need to find is a copy of that Migos Stars on 45 Cantina Star Wars mix.
Yeah, or that.
that would be funny. But the old man dancing's even awesome. You have to get somebody to build you a very small disco ball to hang from the when you pull the cover off.
Ooh, I like that. People keep giving me great suggestions to throw in this thing, and I'm like, ooh, I'm doing that. Like Sean on Legion Academy did in their last show. He was like, I want to see somebody put a how's my driving sticker on the back of it.
That would be awesome.
I'm like, I'm doing it.
That's easy enough to do. That's easy enough to do. But I'll be glad when those come out. I know.
I'll be super glad when those come out. Those are awesome.
Supposedly, what, next month? Supposedly.
Yeah.
If the canal's not.
Like I said, the canal just delayed everything a little bit, but we don't have a hard date yet, so Who knows?
Well, very cool. That's
All right, Bob. Let's dive into this dossier that we got handed.
This thing
Unconventional Warfare.
It's kind of messed up. I think it's going to be kind of fun. What we're going to do up at Atomic this month is we are actually going to take this dossier and run an event. It's out there on the Facebook and the webpage, so if you need more information, give me a yell. From what I hear, Al is going to make the trek down from Chicago to come play. Chris will probably come with him. It'd be nice to get DePinto off his bum and have him come, but I know he said something about Dallas. So Dallas out.
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
So I imagine he won't be there, but Al's definitely coming down because he's bought some stuff from the store and he's coming down personally to pick it up. So cool. I totally expect him, and hopefully Chris will come back. Chris had a good time last time. He actually won the comic book. That's the great thing. Again, I know I'm always saying Atomic's the greatest. We actually put a comic book out. It was a Mace Windu comic book this time, like a graphic novel. I had never seen it. I was very jealous. I about pulled it out of the stack and said, nope, that's mine for running stuff. And Slade kind of looked at me and growled, and I put it back. But he ended up winning that. So hopefully we'll get another one of those. But we're always giving away extra prizes and stuff there. But I saw this Unconventional Warfare when they were doing it on the stream. Thanks again, Atomic Mass. You guys are awesome. We are going to run this thing. It's kind of cool. I think it's really kind of neat because I remember when we first started playing, and I know that you fell into this too. You got Han Solo, you got Chewbacca, you got Leia, you got Luke. Well, Luke, Leia, and Han were all commanders. You can't run 3 commanders, so you could never get the whole Falcon crew together. And then they come out with R2 and 3PO and stuff. So you're like, okay, well, I can run all that, but it's still I can't get my commanders. Now you can. This format is basically still 800 points, but your builds are different. They have 2 different builds that you can do. The first one, you want to do lead from the front, and then I'll do over.
Oh, I would love to do lead from the front. I just want to give a brief little background to this again. So this was an event. This was an event that was supposed to be taking place during the mini extravaganza from Atomic Mass that they put out. They put out new rules for Armada, for X-Wing. They actually had a Civil War thing for Marvel Crisis Protocol, which I thought was cool. And then they did this for Legion as well. So they made an event that was like 2 different new ways to build lists and then clash, and then go head to head with them. Each list had different rule requirements for how you build it as opposed to how you would build a normal 800 point list. And then it also came with perks that unlocked each day that you could use during your games. So yeah, the two types were called lead from the front, and the other one was overwhelming firepower. The main complaint I heard about this was that people were saying that like there was no heads up. It was just launched like day one of the event, and then everyone knew about it, so not a lot of people could schedule games during that. Here's what I have to say to them real quick. It's not over. You couldn't only play those games in those 3 days. The only thing you could do was like report what you played during those 3 days on their website. Which I mean, I was like, I know I'm gonna play this and this. It wasn't necessarily recording wins. It was just recording like what did you play. Like they just wanted to gather like what people were interested in trying. So I mean I uploaded that stuff even though I wasn't going to be able to play that weekend.
That's what I did.
I put the info in because it was like, well, I don't have time to do this, but when I do, I will be playing this. So here you go. Here's my interest. So I think probably next time if they plan to do an event like that, they're probably going to give heads up on people like that. But anyway, we'll jump back into this. So lead from the front is the first archetype we'll go over. It is more focused on bringing more characters and more commanders and operatives and making them the center of your list. So this is going to be a big thing for rebels, obviously. I don't. This isn't like a great one for like Empire, and I find it better for the rebels for sure. And then the other armies, it's kind of like, maybe you make this work. Republic, I think, is good for it as well. I don't dabble with CIS at all, so I really don't know. But I think the Empire and the CIS are better with overwhelming firepower. But let's go over lead from the front real quick. So let's go over the list requirements. So under the commander/operative slot, each army must include 3 to 5 commander and operative units. At least one must be a commander. So before, where you were confined to 2 commanders, or 1 to 2 commanders and 0 to 2 operatives. Now you can have 3 to 5 commander and or operative as long as you have at least 1 commander, which I think is really cool. So that gives you the ability to run that Falcon crew with Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and R2 and 3PO. Get them all in there. So the core troopers, each army must include 2 to 4 core units. This is the same on overwhelming firepower as well. They basically reduce the minimum and maximum core that you take in order to give you more points and more freedom toward the thing you're trying to make shine. Special forces. Each army may include up to 4 special forces units, and each army cannot include more than 2 units with the strike team subtitle. So you can only take up to 2 strike teams, but you can take up to 4 special forces units, which is more part of that lead from the front. If you wanted to make like a 1 commander 4 special forces unit, you could do that.
And it makes it really nice because now if you've got 2 boxes of arcs, you can take a fully loaded army I've got a 10 activation arcs, 2 full squads of arcs and 2 strike teams.
It's going to be scary.
And it's 4 activations out of my army, but okay, they focus fire with the core that you put in there, and you slaughter everything.
Support. Each army may include up to 2 support units, so that's normal. Heavy. Each army cannot include heavy units. So if you're running lead from the front, there's no tanks, there's no big, like there's no ATSTs, there's nothing like that. None of the heavies. Can't take an air speeder. Yeah, no air speeder, nothing like that. So that's the list requirements. We can go over the list requirements for overwhelming firepower, and then we'll go over the perks. And then after that, we'll give you a couple of our lists that we've thrown together for this because I think it's really cool.
Overwhelming firepower. Now this is for us that like to play the tanks and the walkers and just get out there and just wipe units, with one shot.
Yep.
Commander each must include 1 to 2 commanders, so that's your normal. Each army may include up to 1 operative unit, so you're only getting 1 on that one. If you go core, with your core, it's 2 to 4, just like he said. Special forces, you can get 2 special forces in. Support. Each army may include up to 4 support units. So you can drop out. When I built mine for this, I put in two of the RTs and 2 of the speeder bikes for
the barks.
the barks.
Yep.
And then I put in just 1 tank, but you can put up to 3 tanks into a thing. That's about all you're going to get. But if as long as you don't have a Jedi facing a Jedi and stuff, you're still going to give somebody a hard run for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always afraid they're going to throw a bunch of Jedis in there, so I like to like cover that with some troops and stuff. But to the spoils go the winners, and the better players that can run the tanks and keep them out of lightsaber range. I say go for it, because the tanks are monsters. You deck them out. You deck them out first, then you deck out your walkers, and then the rest of it you fill in with commanders and units. And you can build some really mean stuff, especially with that new rule to where you can use field commanders as your commander.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it really nice. And the generic commanders. I don't know about everybody else's. I played with the Rebels and I played with the Imperials a little bit, but not very much. But that Republic guy is a monster, and the CIS one's basically the same general commander out there. That extra unit that you can throw an extra token out. You can bolster him. He's 55 points. He's got a range 3 black dice gun. It's amazing.
I'm gonna briefly give you the I approve.
Yep.
And then we'll get into an example of how I approve here.
Yeah, I know how you approve.
After we touch perks.
I was like, oh, that's overdone, man. That's a steak.
That
was cooked normal, and then you cooked it really, really, really hard, but it's going to be good.
So these perks, there are perks that come with each of the list formats as well. So they're basically things that you do. Have you played 40K before at all?
No.
Any
I'm not
addition?
a 40K guy.
Well, there are these like things during the 40K games where you have they're called like stratagems and stuff, and they're just like little abilities that you like spend a point to use at any point during the game. I have this army, so I can spend this point to do this thing now. And these are kind of like that, except they don't cost anything. They usually, I think they're just a requirement of like a couple of them happen only like once or during a certain trigger window. One of them happens all the time, but we'll just go over them really quick. So lead from the front, your character heavy lists are going to have these 3 perks. Perk 1. At the end of the command phase, issue an order to 1 friendly commander or operative unit anywhere on the battlefield. I can tell you that right now, this is my favorite perk because having that order on giving out that commander or operative order wherever you want on the battlefield once at the end of every command phase. Whew, awesome.
It's going to get you a lot. The first one for the other. Do you want to go through them?
Oh no, we'll go. I'll go through these first, and then we'll go through firepower. So the second perk is when building a command hand, select up to 2 additional 3-pip cards. Your command hand may contain up to 9 command cards. Okay, I should say maybe this one's my favorite, but that's if I'm playing Rebels. I've actually been playing a lot of Republic lead from the front recently, but in a Rebel list, that's my favorite one. Having all those extra command cards is awesome. And then
just a quick question. Could you throw Lando in there with his 3?
Yep, and then it'll go up.
And then you get 6 extra freaking cards.
Yep.
It's just crazy nuts.
Once you would this is perk 3. Once you would eliminate a card during the define the battlefield setup, you may instead eliminate the 2 leftmost cards. If doing so would not eliminate all remaining cards in the same category. So when you're during turn 0 and I'd like to eliminate this card, and I'll eliminate this one. Once during that setup, instead of eliminating 1, you can eliminate 2. If there's still a card left after that. Otherwise you can't. But if you're really good at turn 0 and you have that really awesome objective or condition in the third bracket, you can just be like, hey, we're playing that. And I still get to eliminate something if I want.
Those are just magnificently cool. I think that's a great set of perks. I think it plays with a flavor, just really, really good to it.
All right, Bob, run us through it. Overwhelming firepower.
Overwhelming firepower. The first one you get is at the end of the command phase, issue an order up to 1 friendly heavy or support unit anywhere on the battlefield. So it kind of looks like what the other guys get, but you're giving it to your tank and your heavies. Second one is friendly vehicles treat their resilience rating as blank, a dash. Friendly heavies and support units cannot be suppressed. So, yeah. So they're going to keep mowing on you.
They don't break down.
Yeah,
and they don't get suppressed. They are super vehicles and super support.
Yeah, welcome to 9 points of I can still fire all my stuff at you. That's with the tank. The Republic tank has nine hit points. So
I think one of the scary things. I'll go into that later with list building. You go ahead.
And then at the end of the setup, this is your third one. At the end of the setup, up to three friendly heavies or supports may perform a speed 2 move. Units ignore the stationary keyword, so you can put your radar dishes out.
Yep.
Anything that's just setting, you can just throw it out there at range 2 out from the start zone.
So
that's that one. What were you going to add on the middle one?
Oh no, I was going to get. It's a point I'm going to bring up during list building. So, Bob, we've made some. I don't know how many lists you've made, but I've made a lot of fun lead from the front lists and a couple, like 1 or 2 overwhelming firepower ideas, but I haven't actually committed.
Right.
What about you? What have you made? You made anything super awesome?
I went with a Rex build, and then I put in 2 commanders. So I'm getting those 2 pushing out those plus Rex's pip cards. His third 3 pip card puts out 4, so there's 6.
Yep.
I've got 5 in with an arc team. I've got Echo in with an arc team, so that 5's units throwing out a token. So I'm getting 8 tokens out on a round on Rex's 4 pip card.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the fun part of that. If you give out to somebody else and you have an uplink card on 5s, you can get 9 tokens out in 1 round. So you feel like CIS. Which is a lot of fun because then all those guys have it. You have 3 or 4 units of fire support, and you just fire support every freaking time that you activate.
Oh yeah,
and it's nuts. You, from what I've heard from you and your giddy laugh the other day, you've taken it a couple steps further than I did because I give you this.
Well, I might have.
I was like, oh, check this out, Ben. You can do it, and you're like. And I'm like, are you there? And you're like, yeah. And I'll talk to you later. And I'm like, okay, cool. And the next day it's like, oh, guess what I built? And you're like, I did this.
Here's what I made. I did my staple of what we love to do. And, Paul and I love to make crazy lists that make you double take when I show it to you. So I need a better, I don't know if this is the name that I totally love for this list, Bob, but I'd like to call it something like Rex and Friends. But you let me know if there's a cooler name for it. But I would love it. But so this is a Republic lead from the front list. It is also led by Captain Rex, who's got aggressive tactics and his jetpack. Then I've got 4 generic clone commanders with no upgrades.
He said 4. That is correct.
That is 4. So. And then I've got, and then the rest of this is kind of like variant stuff, depending on your flavor of what you like. I've got 2 Phase 2 clones with Z6s and the Extra Man. I've got 2 Phase 1s with the RPS 6, and then I've got 2 DC 15 Arc Sniper Strike teams. So it comes out to 11 activations, 796 points.
And that's nuts. You're just going to go out there and go, hi, boom, you're not there anymore. Ooh,
yeah,
boom,
this is, I've already done 1 practice game with this, and I played against an overwhelming firepower list. I played against my roommate, Josh. We played we ended up playing Hostage Exchange, which really didn't work out for him because, all the points in those tanks.
Yep.
But he definitely saw the great activation deleting power that this list has, because here's the thing. With the first perk that gives you an order to any friendly commander anywhere on the battlefield per turn, and the 4 clone commanders that each have direct, which is at range 1 to 2 to a core unit, that is 5 orders every turn before you even play a command card.
It's nuts.
every turn that all four of those guys are alive, and you have that perk is going all the time, that is 5 orders that are already given out before you even lay down a command card. So every time I just put the free order on Rex, all 4 of the core units get their orders from the clone commanders, and then any orders that I play down, I'm just going to put on a clone commander or a strike team, depending on what I really need. But usually it was going on those clone commanders. But it is nasty because they have sharpshooter, they have bolster. You can token generate so fast with them. It's insane.
For 55 points, they're insanely cool. 4 hit points, 2 courage, bolster, a really good range 3 gun.
Mm-hmm.
And sharpshooter. No, for 55 points all day long, man. It's sad that you can't put more of them in.
But I did.
But you did.
That's what I did. Was this list was like, what if I put them all in? So you've got them all in there. They are amazing fire support platforms. And guess what? With 4 of them, where you're given like 5 orders out every turn before you play command cards, you're always fire supporting. So as long as you set up your configuration right, you're going to be deleting activations every single turn just by using the commanders as platforms with sharpshooter. Exactly. So you sharpshooter with them, and then you get something else in there. The list I played was an Empire list with 3 Gav tanks, 2 E-webs which were in the Gav tanks, 3 stormtroopers with, I don't think they had any upgrades, and then Veers, who was in the 3rd tank. 2 of the tanks had pintle guns, and the E-webs had generators, and I was scared to set up across from it because all 3 of them have infinite resilience. They did a free speed 2 move at the start of the game, and I was just sweating. I was just like, those are 3 tanks that are on me right now. But what I did to diffuse the situation was I used the clone commanders and like the Z6 phase 2s and the RPSs to shoot out the E-webs, so reduce their cover to light, and then fire support with them, getting these huge pools in on these E-webs and forcing a bunch of saves. One of those E-webs was done in round 1. One of those E-webs was just completely dead, and the other one was half dead by the end of round 1. So, and Veers went down. He is like, I think Veers has 5 health. I did 4 wounds to Veers while he was in one of the tanks, and he hopped out and was like, no crap, I gotta get out of here, and started running away. And Rex jetpacked up onto the center building, like the center of the battlefield, and it was exactly like range 2 from where Veers was running, and he's just like, not this time, buddy. Pow, got him. But it was a really fun game. It's a really fun list if you really love Republic and all the token sharing and all the orders and stuff you can get with it. My only regret is that I'm telling everybody this before we play this month. So hopefully not everybody decides to counterbuild and tech for it, but it's okay. It's goofy Republic jank anyway. I'm just gonna have fun.
And that's why I wanted to do this. We'd been playing 500s for a couple of times, and we played 800s before that. So that's one thing at Atomic. Slade lets me pretty much pick whatever I want to do. And it's really going to be a lot of fun. My only problem is that I get my second shot of the COVID virus shot that morning, so hopefully I'm not going to get sick from it. Yeah, so it should be. I made sure that I do have backup. My trusty backup Mike isn't going to make it. His job is basically he doesn't get to play with us until June. Because he works every other weekend and it doesn't work out. February messed up his schedule, so he'll be back in June. So I've got a couple of people that said, hey, if you get sick, we'll be able to cover for you. So I'll still be there. I'm gonna not leave, but I might have to send a couple of people, hey, go down and check that table or whatever. But the format to me when I saw it, I'm like, this looks amazingly fun. This is what. Yeah. And I thought of you honestly because of the Luke, Chewie, Han, Leia. R2.
Do the Falcon crew.
And I'm like, that's just amazingly fun and amazingly cool that he could actually run that now if he wanted to. Yep. And then I told him about my Republic building. I'm going to do that. And I'm like, yeah, and I would too. I would run that, just run it and see what happens. Because Paul's going to hear this and he's going to have a counter for it. So it'll be fun to see what he brings.
Oh, I already told Paul about I was like, do you think that I'm a genius or just insane to put 4 clone commanders in a list with Rex? And he was like, I think you're just insane. And then we sat there and talked about it, and he was just like, I don't know, maybe there is something to it. We'll see. So
we'll see how it works, and that's what I think is going to be fun. Everybody's going to bring their own version of jank.
Pretty much, it's just skew. That's just all this is. It's just like
going to be a mess, but it's going to be a fun mess. I
yeah,
think it's fun to set back. Like I say, I don't get to play if it's an uneven number, and I've got another friend of mine that comes down just to play me. We've got a Cad Bane Republic
rivalry.
Yeah, it's going on. A tie that I win because I'm blue player is still a win, buddy. Still a win.
Yep.
And so I'm 2 and he's 0 on our fights, but he swears up and down that I'm dead this time if he makes it. So I'm looking forward to that game actually playing if the numbers are odd. But it'll be fun to play if I don't. I owe Adrian a game. Mr. Watson and I have never got to play, so we're in all the time that we've known each other.
For the hot dice that he rolls, for those sweet hot out the microwave dice rolls that he gets, you really don't want. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Paul's a hell of a player. I've watched him play. I think honestly that's not true. We have played. We played one game at one of the stores in Fort Wayne. I think I won that one just because I found a devious angle through a window that I could shoot that.
Oh.
He basically wasn't in the right position. I could see him, but he couldn't really get to me without moving the whole force. And I think I honestly beat. That was when the game first came out. So I want a rematch for sure. But yeah, we had a good time, and we always have a good time with Paul and people from Fort Wayne. We have a good time with our Bloomington people and our Indy people. We just have a really good time. We give away good prizes. We're hoping to get a new kit soon, because we've been giving out kits and we've been giving out just tons and tons and tons of stuff. But we're starting to get to where we don't have anything new, which we pride ourselves on that. People still come, they still play because we put on a good show. But I'd really love to get people to walk in on this one. Hopefully it's going to come in before we play on the 17th.
Well, Bob, hopefully I'm in the working. I haven't even told you this, but I'm in the workings of coming up with some cool prize support that I might bring. I don't know if I'll bring it this month, but I might be able to bring next month. That'll be pretty sweet.
Awesome.
So everyone should be excited for that.
Yeah, and hopefully we're going to have some more swag cards out by then. So,
but Bob, let me take you back just a little bit. Is there any other crazy ideas of cool lists you could make for Warfare that maybe you haven't teched the whole thing out, but that you saw something and got inspired for, like just cool ideas?
For
lead from the front, overwhelming firepower. Did you see something and you were like, you could play that?
I just like my list. I'm gonna try it. I've got this. I got my 3 commanders, and I got Padme in there. I think I can't remember exactly what I built, but but yeah, I'm looking really forward to playing the 3 commanders and a lot of arcs, because like I said, you can actually put 4 special forces in. So
yeah,
I can do.
That's gonna be scary.
When I got my arcs, I was like, man, I want to play them all, and you can't. So I kind of. It's like, man, this is great. And I think that's where they're smart, because this is all marketing. Nothing against them. This is the way you find out what your people want to use and what your people want to play. And hopefully with all the data that they collected, it's going to say, well, let's do this, because we've been playing 800, we've been playing 500. This will be the next evolution to where, hey, we'll run your tournaments playing this scenario. And I think as stuff comes out, that you're going to see a lot of people going back and building with a lot of characters, because now, like I heard the Yoda builds are going to be 8 activations.
Yeah,
it's going to be Yoda and Skywalker with some troopers running around behind, kind of like the show. Mm-hmm. I just rewatched Clone Wars again, and it's amazing how many times that it's Anakin and Rex and a bunch of just no-name clones.
Yep,
out there just running around the battlefield. And it'd be cool to see that, because everybody's, I want to play this or I want to play that. No. Well, you can. I mean, you can play a bunch of heroes together, or you can go play the other and get a bunch of other like just no-name clones out there. And I think that's another thing that's really cool with the game. It's going to be really neat to see what I've seen with Atomic Mass. Nothing against FFG. They did great. They honestly did.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are out there and they're only focusing on miniature games. So be it X-Wing, be it Armada, be it Marvel Crisis, it's it's all the same kind of genre and stuff that
Right.
that they know what they're doing with it. I mean, they got people who know what they're doing. So I think it's fun that they're taking these chances and going, hey, what if we open up and you guys can play this format? Because I know they did it for Armada, they did it for X-Wing, and they did it for Marvel Crisis during that weekend. They all had sheets out there
Yep.
of, here's a new format, here's some perks. What do you think about perks? Would it be cool to get perks? You get a perk card maybe with a set of commanders or something,
Mm-hmm.
or a tank or whatever. And I love that they put it in as, let's test this game out. Like you said, my only problem was they threw it out the day of, but they left it open. You can still go out there and
Right. I was gonna say, but Bob, we can still play it.
it
still exists. It didn't stop existing after
exactly.
those 3 days.
And because I downloaded the papers for both of them, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, I've got it now. If they take it down, but they didn't. It's there, and I hope that they actually work it into like a part of the game. So if, okay, you're tired of this.
Yeah,
Play
so
this.
that's the thing I don't understand is I don't know if these are balanced to go up against non-unconventional warfare lists. That's why I don't think that these are necessarily meant for tournament play right now. I mean, we're going to do our event, obviously, but
Right.
for competitive Legion, I don't know if these are balanced to do that. But there are things, in other games like 40K and stuff like that, where it's like you build, or Joe was talking about like the Lord of the Rings game. Like if you limit yourself from what you would normally be able to take to do this instead, your reward is like this perk or this special ability or something. So there's stuff like that that can be balanced out. I don't, they didn't totally tell me, or at least I didn't hear that these were balanced to go against non-unconventional warfare lists, but I agree with what you said. I would love to see it like worked in. I would love to see different ways to play lists worked in to the normal meta and to the normal like competitive scene, because I got a bunch of cool ideas with these. Let me just start by saying that um, overwhelming firepower. Everyone thinks 3 heavies. That's where you want to go. But another highlight you could look at that maybe not everyone's looking at is 4 supports. You can make the support. You could take no heavies and just make support the main dish of your list. And what does that look like? It might be 4 stat bikes. It might be 4 speeder bikes or 4 dewbacks on your Empire lists. For rebels, and I know this is going to be the scary one, Bob, 4 tauntauns.
That could be a hoot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a real hoot right there. What I would love to see Paul do is 4 bark speeders, but I don't know if he'll do that.
That would be amazingly cool. That would be a lot of fun.
And and then there's lead from the front stuff that you can do. Well, then there was like the 3 Gavs, and I really like what Josh did was he took 3 Gav tanks and then 2 E-webs, and then put the 2 E-webs in 2 of the tanks. And I was just like, oh man, you can just take that E-web tank and make it so much worse than overwhelming firepower. I think his next one he wants to try Vader and 4 speeder bikes because he really likes the speeder bikes. The lead from the front, there was a bunch of lists that I came up with. There's the Falcon crew you can obviously do. I really came up with a lot of rebels and stuff because they're really the ones who win from lead from the front. You can do the Falcon crew with either Luke that you want, and then Leia, Han, Chewie, and then R2 and 3PO. You can run them all together. I actually also made I called it Ladies Night Plus. It was Leia, Jin, Sabine, R2, 3PO, and Lando.
I call that the pimp mobile there, buddy.
Well, yeah, Lando and ladies. And then some other stuff in there, but I fit them all on a list, and I was thinking about playing that, but I don't know. We'll see. The other thing that I thought was really cool, and this is actually for stuff that's not even out yet, but for lead from the front, Bob, everyone's always said, how are they going to do something where you can run all the main characters from Rebels?
Right.
Hera, Kanan, Ezra, Sabine, Chopper, Zeb. That's 6 characters, and you can only take 2 commanders and 2 operatives. How are you going to get them all in there? Well, if they mainstreamed a format like lead from the front, well, really they don't even need to. They can just use lead from the front. And maybe the only way you play the entire crew is if you're playing unconventional warfare. But if they do something like that and they bring lead from the front or something like that to a normal balanced game mode and say, hey, these are balanced for playing against each other, then there's your Phoenix crew right there. You can bring all of them and get them in there. I know there's 5 slots, and I said there's 5 slots and there's 6 characters, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. If Chopper is not a detachment from Hera, I'm gonna be I will be stupidly surprised.
He definitely should be with Hera.
Just like Aiden's droid is with her. Like, it's not another slot. It's just you're there. Not like K2SO and Cassian are, because those are 2 activation. I mean, if they want to go that route, fine. Then I really won't know how you run them all together.
Exactly.
But I could see Chopper being a detachment of Hera. So, but that would be how that could get done.
I actually found one on my list here. I was trying to find one while you were going.
Oh, sure.
I got a lead from the front. It's Anakin, all decked out with saber throw and force reflexes and tenacity. And then Rex, because you always see those guys together. And he's got his jetpack stapled to him, of course, and aggressive. 2 clone commanders. One of them's got vigilance to keep Anakin with his defense token. The other one's naked. Padme to help with that also, and get in there. Then just two sets of phase ones, 2 of them with rotary cannons and 2 with the rocket launchers. So it's all focused on the main characters getting in there and bumping the heck out of stuff.
That's straight up some Clone Wars episodes if I've ever seen it.
Exactly, because that's what, like I said, I was watching it. And then like unconventional, I've got this build here. Another Unconventional Warfare. It's it's about the same thing. Oh, it's the one I was looking at. If I do run it, it's Rex built the normal way, and then 2 clone commanders naked, 2 sets of phase 2s with rocket launchers, 1 with a Z6. Then I go into arcs with 5s with long range communications. That is the wrong card. I got to rebuild that. He's got a HQ uplink, and then 5s. Or Echo with targeting scopes.
Nice.
And then 2 sets of snipers. It's 10 activations. You can get a lot of tokens out there, and it looks like a lot of fun. And plus, it's a gun line, so it's what I'm used to playing. And I think it's going to be fun. So I'm probably going to drag that to with the store when we go play on the 17th, just in case I do get to play, and see how that goes. That's about all I got built, and.
I'm realizing I didn't really give anything out for droids, but I'm wondering what droids. Well, yeah, we don't, and we really don't. But what would droids prefer? Would they prefer lead from the front or overwhelming firepower? I feel like they might prefer overwhelming. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like they want the 4. You have 4 B1s, your commander, your operative, and then you take 3 AATs. Like, that's scary. That's the scariest thing I can think of right now.
2 tanks are bad, but let's put 3 in there and see what we can do with that. Yeah. Okay. No, thank you.
Whoops, we're dead.
Let's give that to Paul to deal with and see how he beats it, and then we can copy him.
I did come up with one other lead from the front, which was I had an Anakin Obi-Wan Rex list.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So I was like that. How many episodes did you see where the 3 of them are together?
Yeah. So, that's the obvious thing to do. Lots
of
points.
All right, Bob. I think we've gone over this dossier enough.
Yeah, it's just about time for me to get back in the back to tank here pretty soon, because I'm getting kind of tired.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go prep the ship, and then we're gonna launch off. And next month you can hear all the crazy lists that we saw at this event and how it went.
My plan is to get a copy of every list, so that way we can look at them and go, okay, well, this is
great idea.
I'm going to try and talk to Slade and maybe taking a vote to the craziest list that we've seen, and maybe give out a little extra prize support. I haven't talked to him about that yet, but
that sounds awesome.
Maybe do that. So if you want to build something crazy and come play, bring it on.
Who brought the craziest list?
Yeah, we might do two of them. We'll do an unconventional or an overwhelming and.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I like that.
It depends on how many people we get.
So make sure you come down to Atomic if you are able to do so, or come up depending on where you are.
Yeah, but, definitely. If you have questions, give us a yell. We got it set up to where you can ask questions, and I pretty much look at that page at least 2 or 3 times a day to see if there are any, because I want it to run smooth. So.
Well, Bob, you head back. I'm gonna go prep the ship, and then we'll take off before too long. But thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed I hope you enjoyed the discussion with Unconventional Warfare, and I hope that you're going out and trying it just for fun, just to find that fun thing to mix the game up. And we are gonna come back and talk to you next month about everything. But until then, I hope you had a dice time with us this month. I'm Ben Jetron. Go out and make today even better. Who are you?
I'm Bob Swaim, and you guys all have a safe day out there, and just be nice to each other.
Be nice. Lose the hate. Be nice. Make love, not war. Good night.
Good night.